Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Della Cruz. Today we're putting the spotlight on Kids Corporation in Essex County. It's often called Newark's best kept secret. Kids Corporation is located on Atlantic Street. Michaela Murray Nolan is the executive director, and we first chatted during a phone interview in our 8 p.m. newscast. Michaela, it is so good to see you face to face.
Terrific to be here. Thank you, Della.
Oh, I love your presence. It's so calming. You know that? Just like she was on the telephone. I love it. Now, tell me, how was Kids Corporation founded and when?
Well, we're coming up on our 40th year. We were founded in 1971 with just one small summer school, and a whole bunch of friends got together and decided to revamp urban education and take the idea of accountability standards from the corporate world, mesh that with energy and excitement and innovative ideas of young people, put it all together and try to revamp urban education in Newark.
That's a huge undertaking, revamp urban education. I guess everybody knew what they were getting into.
I don't think they did. I don't think they did, and they certainly didn't think that we would still be here 40 years later.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. We started with a small summer school. The second year in 1972, we added a day camp. The first one was up on Lake Apacon. So the children went to school 4 days a week, and on their fifth day, if they had been on good behavior, done all of their homework, and been there all 4 days, they got to take a day trip to kids camp, as we call it, as their reward. And that was our model for the first 25 years. We ran our own summer schools. We help other organizations, faith-based, community-based, school-based organizations throughout Newark run their own summer educational enrichment programs, and all of the children get to spend 1 day a week up at kids camp.
This sounds so cool.
Thank you.
Why are you all called Newark's best kept secret? This should be out there.
Well, we played very low key for a long time for a couple of reasons. One, we were never really into publicity. I don't need to be on TV to
yes,
feel.
But you should be. You're good.
To feel good about what I do. I love my job. We hire people who just really love children, who are deeply passionate about them, have a higher energy quotient to their work ethic, are willing to put in long hours for not a lot of money, and we have all private funding, so we're able to really stay low-key and fly below the radar, which in a city like Newark, which has its interesting points and its politics and its characters, if you just want to get a job done, sometimes it's easier to just keep your head down and push forward and get the job done.
As we take a look at some video, tell me more about this low profile and what makes your program so unique. I love that. Welcome to Kids Camp.
Well, I think that one of the things that makes our program unique is we went into it with this idea of accountability standards, that the corporate world and the for-profit world has a great message that can be taught to the nonprofit world. Do your absolute best with every last penny. We put 89 cents of every dollar directly into our classrooms and programs. We spend very, very little on overhead, which means we're all terribly underpaid, but very highly rewarded by the children in the programs. And we're very no-nonsense when it comes to our staff, our program standards. All of the children are tested pre- and post-programming, whether it's summer school, after school, visits to the environmental science camp, which the camp now runs year-round. We also built a health clinic there, so about a third of our children are able to get health exams throughout the year, and then we follow up with free medical care for all the problems that we find. And all together, between the year-round camp, the year-round school programs, we have about 4,500 children in the programs. And we test to make sure that we're really getting the results and accountability out of our staff, out of the curriculum, and out of the children that we're looking for. If you can't prove you're making progress, it might be because you're not making any. So we want to make sure we're really getting the value for our donors' dollar and the value for everyone's time and effort. It's an intense job.
How big a staff do you have? And as you said, obviously they're very loyal.
Very, very. We're very lucky. I've been the executive director for 8 years, and most of my full-time staff predate me. We have only 9 full-time staff, and that includes the year-round instructors and nurse at the camp, as well as the after-school and summer school principals. In the office, administratively, we have just 4. So 4 people, 4,500 children.
How do you all manage?
We've developed a sleep deprivation program that's really working out for us.
She's great.
We put hard work in, and we have a lot of people who are just very energetic, very passionate, very dedicated. We don't sit for a lot of nonsense, and we don't take a lot of lunch breaks. We keep our head down and work hard at it, which is part of that low profile. We just haven't taken a lot of time to get out and brag about ourselves, but people will say we're Newark's best kept secret, and I keep saying, I've got to do something about that as soon as I finish the 30 things on my to-do list. So
as you head into your 40th year, what other goals would you like to meet?
Well, we're obviously looking to expand our marketing and our presence, so to speak. We have started a new initiative, the Kids Farm Project, and we are looking down the road, long-term goal. In another decade, by our 50th birthday, I would like to have opened a full-time school.
Oh, congratulations.
That's my hope. It's nice to go visit the children during the summer and the after-school hours, but I need to see my munchkins at 8 o'clock in the morning, too.
So keep calling them munchkins. I like that.
They're all my munchkins.
All their munchkins. Wizard of Oz. I love it. Michaela Murray Nolan, the Executive Director of Kids Corporation, thank you very much. This was a fun segment. I appreciated it. And right after the break, we'll chat with the Chief Operating Officer of Kids Corporation. I'm Della Cruz here on Spotlight New Jersey. My guests today are all involved with Kids Corporation in Newark. Andrea O'Neill is the Chief Operating Officer, and you've been with Kids Corporation since February 1st?
Yeah, that's correct.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I see it written all over your face how passionate you are about this program.
Yeah, I really believe in all the great things that we're doing for
What
the
do you
kids of
find
Newark.
appealing? The people, the programs, the way the kids respond?
Yeah, well, I think it's our employees, giving back to the community and really helping the kids.
All of which you like to do yourself, too.
Yes.
Now, Michaela talked about it in the first block, the Kids Corporation's new project launch, the Kids Farm at Kids Camp. Tell me more about that.
Well, our health clinic has identified high numbers of children with malnutrition, hunger, and obesity. And it's really a tragedy that
especially in our country, in this city,
Right, our children just don't have the option to eat healthy, nutritious food. And as a result, they eat food that's just not good for their health.
So just like the First Lady, Michelle Obama, you all are on a kick to change that too.
Yes.
And make it fun at the same time.
Yes. So our proposal is simple. We...
Go ahead, honey.
I'm sorry.
I know what that's like.
We have lots of space at our kids camp in Newton, New Jersey, and our plan is to grow fresh organic produce and sell it to restaurants at a profit. So those profits will go towards our mission and our programs. And we'll also sell the fresh organic produce to families in Newark at cost. So that means that if it costs us 3 cents to grow a tomato, then we'll sell that tomato for 3 cents.
What a great idea, your own version of a Jersey Fresh. I love that, and I'm looking at everybody there digging away. Now, tell me about winning the Prudential Strength for Capacity Award for the Kids Farm.
Sure. Well, Prudential's goal was to encourage nonprofits to think creatively about new ways to generate revenue to support their mission. The winners of the competition were announced in September of 2009, last year, and Kids Corporation won second place.
Congratulations.
$25,000.
Wow.
And, yeah, the volunteer services of Prudential's project management team.
Everybody must have been really excited about that.
Yes.
Tell me all about your partners who helped you to launch this award-winning farm.
Sure. We really want to thank Prudential for the money that they provided. and their volunteer services, the project management support that they provided.
We've had Prudential on the program. They are actively involved in the community, and especially in Newark.
Yes, and they provided us with a huge volunteer day this past April and helped us build our greenhouse located in Newton, New Jersey. At our kids camp, and we have some video footage to show you.
The kids love that too.
Yes.
Their own greenhouse. How exciting is that? Now,
now we also want to thank a couple other folks. We want to thank the Institute for Entrepreneurial Leadership, Jill Johnson, who provided business consultation support, and Ludi Greenhouses for providing a great deal on a greenhouse, and Gail Johnson and Joe Florentine at Rutgers University.
I admire you for remembering all that. That's good. How are the hybrid mission and profit projects the future of nonprofit growth and adaptation?
Well, a number of social entrepreneurs are coming up with creative new ways to generate income to support their missions. And it's interesting because earned income ventures are nothing new to the nonprofit sector. Hospitals and universities for a long time have been run by charitable organizations. So the concept of hybrid mission projects is a new alternative, but it's been used in the past.
It's just becoming more and more popular now.
Yes.
As this whole green concept of green takes off. And I bet you love being a part of that.
Yes.
What would you say is your mission as you continue to work with Kids Corporation?
Well, our mission, my mission is just to support our kids and provide great academic enrichment programs for them to learn and grow.
To learn and grow. I love that. And this program is free to kids. We should make note of that.
Yes.
See, that's great. It's a wonderful thing to have there in this best kept secret there in Newark. Andrea O'Neill, Chief Operating Officer, thank you very much for joining us here in this block. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
My pleasure. We'll be right back with the co-founder of Kids Corporation in Newark. I'm Della Cruz. Today we're putting the spotlight on Kids Corporation based in Newark. Kathleen Murray Nolan is co-founder. She's also vice president of the board of trustees, and I am glad to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me, Della. I appreciate it.
You look so sharp.
Thank you.
Now tell me all about this motivation to start Kids Corporation and then keep it going for 40 years. Congratulations.
Thank you. My husband and I were very fortunate to be members of a parish that had two very social justice networked priests, and they encouraged us to get involved in things that were going on in Newark in the late 60s, early 70s. We started by running a program at Verona Park, a recreational program. After the first year of doing that, we could tell that what the children really needed was to have a chance to at least maintain what they had learned during the prior academic year without having to spend the next academic year catching
Starting
up.
all over again,
Yep,
exactly.
relearning all that they had lost during the summer. So a rectory in Newark gave us space for staff, and a school gave us space for classes, and we started with one summer school and some great college kids who were just into, doing right by kids who didn't have anybody else to do right by them, and that's the beginning.
And look where you are now. Speaking of the 70s, we have some video that I want people to see.
Oh boy.
Yep, tell me all about this.
This is outside St. Charles Borromeo School and the rectory there. As you can see,
Love the
we're all
afros.
oh boy, it was the 70s, yes. This is at our first camp, which we opened a year after the first school on 23 acres at Lake Apacong. We tried to keep that also an academically challenging environment. It wasn't just a day of goofing off. We had a curriculum that tied in all the things that they were going to be able to see
Have you
while
seen
they
some
were
of these
at the
kids
camp.
since? Because I know them.
Yes, as a matter of fact, some of them work for us now.
Oh my God, you must be so proud of that.
It is really rewarding when you have a Kids Corporation child come back and be a Kids Corporation adult. Yes, I always said we don't need to change the whole world if we can just change our little corner of it. And when you realize you've touched a life and they feel the same passion you do for making their little corner a better place,
They pay it forward and keep giving it back. I love that.
It is really rewarding.
This is why Kids Corps still works and why it still inspires. And this is how you're passing that torch to the next generation.
Well, altruism, I think, is a virtue that so many people have and don't know how to employ. And when they come to us at Kids Corporation and interview for a job as a teacher or a counselor up at the camp, we always manage to get those people who believe, as we do, in social justice for people who, don't have a politician in their back pocket with money, and are willing to spend the time and effort to make a situation better, whether it's at the camp or at the schools or at our community summer schools.
How do you all manage to provide this for free?
Because we have wonderful foundations and wonderful individual donors. We send out a newsletter several times a year. The response is always gratifying. I won't say that there have been times where we've had to lay off people temporarily because we can't afford to keep it going. Sometimes it comes out of our own pockets to keep it going because we know how important it is. We know the economy is going to come back, so it's going to be all right.
It always does bounce back, exactly.
Yeah.
You just got to weather those rough
there's
times.
a lot of people who believe that what we're doing is the right thing. So I'm grateful for everyone.
What do you see ahead for the next 40 years then?
Well, I sure would like to see a situation like Manhattan, where I live now, where the schools are under the oversight of the mayor, where you have a chance for great charter schools, where you have a very organized parent involvement, and support at a very local level to make the schools the best that they can be without interference from the bureaucracy that runs them.
That's a great goal. Now, how active are your parents at present?
You'd be surprised. They over the years, more and more and more active. And they are taking more pride in their community and a more active role. They understand the role of parenting in terms of helping the children. You can't just have it be in a classroom. You have to continue it at night. We give our kids books to bring home so their parents can read to them, or they can read to their parents.
It's probably more of the other, but just kidding.
And even if it is, that's great.
Kathleen, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Del. I really appreciate you having me.
For being a co-founder of a great program.
Thank you.
Thank you to Kathleen, Andrea, and Michaela. If you'd like to find out more about Kids Corporation in Newark, log on to news12.com, click on features, then Spotlight New Jersey. I'm Dela Cruz. Thank you for joining us. Have a good day.